All right. Welcome back to Lockdown Sports. It's locked in. International football is over. Arsenal versus Man City at the Etihad. Let's talk about it. Let's dig deeper. Whenever Man City plays a big game, I think to myself, how is Pep Guardiola going to overcomplicate this or complicate this just enough to the point where the other team looks deluded? We've seen last time they played Arsenal, Rico Lewis was in midfield. They lost the game. Last season, we saw Bernardo Silva at left back. We've seen Gundogan at CDM in a Champions League final and plenty more where that came from when it comes to Pep Guardiola. So this game, what I'm going to predict in Pep's genius / what's the right word for it, politically speaking? Interesting brain. In Pep's interesting brain, right? I think he'll go with, we've been talking about it too much, I think he'll go with size at the back. I don't think we'll see Kyle Walker, a bit of a hamstring injury, trying to chase down Vinicius. I think you'll see 4 centre-backs at the back. You'll see that Champions League lineup with Akanji, Ake, maybe Stones and Diaz as well. So 4 centre-backs is what I'm anticipating on top of Rodri. I think you'll see a resolute performance from that back line. And in front of it, I'm not too sure what you do if KDB is not playing. That's right, guys. People are skipping international breaks, international friendlies. We'll get onto that a little bit later. For a moment, we'll focus on the other side, all right? We'll focus on that red team in London that we don't really want to talk about or acknowledge their title chances, but we'll give it maybe 15 seconds. I don't think they changed too much up. I think what they've got recently in all these wins has been working for them. You'll see that same shape. Havertz, I don't like him, but if he scores, he justifies not the price tag, but maybe the transfer. Anyways, back to the main topic. City, how will they win this game? I'm already planning it in my head because for me, Arsenal's a bigger rival than Man City as a Man United fan. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. I know people from Manchester definitely don't agree with that, but that's how I am from the other side of the world, and you're locked in here. That's what you got to deal with, right? Anyways, how is City going to win this game without Kevin De Bruyne? Because apparently he might legitimately have missed international break. There's a few people that didn't, and we'll get onto them very shortly, but let's stay on this. Kevin De Bruyne, if he doesn't play, I look through the numbers, all right? Couple years ago, couple allocations were thrown at Kevin De Bruyne for not being too important. Not being too important because we saw Man City win without him. And we get into those MVP conversations in other sports and we like to think, what's the difference? What's a team on and off without you? Can't really do that in football, but even more because Man City is so good as a team, as a unit of more than 16 capable players that any team would like to have. But that was the criticism. And if you go back, look at the numbers. When they versed Liverpool in the league under Pep Guardiola, when he doesn't play, they're fine. They haven't lost the game yet. Versing Arsenal, the first loss against Arsenal without KDB for Pep Guardiola came just then when Rico Lewis was playing midfield and he was injured. Okay, you look at these sort of metrics, the sample size is not big enough to make the case, but I do remember that time during COVID, being able to run those agendas against Kevin De Bruyne while Pogba was still in the league. But Pogba's gone, and I don't think there's a place for those agendas in reality. Kevin De Bruyne, without him, it does get harder. I don't look at the rest of this Man City squad like I did back in the day. No Gundogan for that midfield. Kovacic, yeah. Brother, no. Nunez, no. No. Seriously. I thought at the start of the season, we'll put it up now, I thought Kovacic would be a signing of the season. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyways, topic number 3. You've stayed this long. Subscribe if you haven't already. International break. How'd you feel about it? I slept well. I hope you slept well. Putting that to a side, people skipped. People skipped. People announced they were skipping. People skipped midway through. People pretended they had an injury in order to skip. Not naming names. Bukayo Saka. That happened. That's going to happen. Footballers play too many games. I understand it. But this is the big point. You don't get to now go into that international period at the end of the season, which we call the Euros or the Copa. I don't know why I didn't say that earlier. But when you go into those tournaments and then you do those interviews, I don't ever want to hear an ounce of we didn't feel right. It felt like we didn't know each other, because you skipped the last crucial opportunity to get a couple more worms dug out in your system. Get that chemistry up to scratch. You can't get chemistry at an international football level. A lot of the times it's more players doing shit on their own. That individualism really gets brought out in these tournaments. But you want to have good systems. You need to have good systems. And oftentimes managers go for simplistic systems. Oftentimes teams need simplistic managers, not naming names. Of course I'm naming names. Gareth Southgate. Don't bring him to my club. Anyways, let's get back to it. Players are skipping. It's fine. I'm okay with it. Just don't complain when you see the effects of it later down the line. That's all from me. That's all from Lockdown Sports. Every week, without international football, every week of league football, come here, take your shoes off, stay locked in. Bye for now.